Now we're going to move into a different area of what if analysis. We're going to look at something called goal seek. And I have put this little text here that gives you a general overview of what goal seek actually does. It can determine missing information using data we already have. And I've got two problems here to show you how it exactly works. Now this first problem, this table here, this is pretty straightforward. And when I put it together, I was able to work it out in my head pretty quickly. But with regard to this other problem here, this is where what if analysis will really come into its own, and you'll see how useful it really is. But this first table should stand as a good example how what if analysis actually works and how to use it as well. So this is the scenario. Let's say I am employed with a particular business, and what I would like you to do is I would like to find out how much money I need to earn in June to achieve a total of $6,000. The total of these amounts is in this cell, which is just a sum function that I have put together and which also includes this empty cell here. But basically, I can see that I am behind with regard to my target of $6,000, and I do need to make some more money to achieve that. And as soon as I wrote the sum function, I worked out that I needed $972. So it is a very straightforward stuff. But anyway, let's go ahead and use what if analysis to work this out. Before I get started, in this cell, this is just a if function, and you can see it in formula bar what I have written here. So the if function is referencing the total amount cell, which is this cell here, and it is asking that if the value is equal to or more than $6,000, then give me back the answer yes. And I've also applied some conditional formatting to make the background green for that cell, and if it doesn't reach the target, then give me the answer no. And I have also applied some conditional formatting here to give back the color red for the answer no. So let's get started. Now, like I said in the previous tutorial, when it comes to using the what if analysis, you do have to write some type of formula or function, because the what if analysis uses the formula or the function to do its job. So in this particular instance, I do need to find out the average for all of these amounts here, including the empty cell. So I'll go ahead and write out my average function, which is equals to average tab. I'll select my amounts, and it is very important to select the empty cell as well. So I'll just press enter, and there's my average so far. The next step now is to select the formula or function, come to what if analysis, come down to goal seek. So this first input cell here, this should have the reference where your formula or function is. Now in this next cell, it is basically asking us to value, which means that in this cell above, which is J9 cell, what value should be in this cell instead of this $1,005.60. And I do know on the top of my head that I need to achieve at least $1,000 per month for all of these values, including the month of June, because there are 6 months here and 6 times 1000 is 6000. Now it's asking in the last input, where do you want to put the answer? And that would be the cell with the missing data. I'll just press enter, and it says in this box that a solution is found. Now we can just click OK. So now we know that $972 in the month of June. And you can also see how my sum function has kicked in here and added up all of these figures, and my if function has got me back, yes, you will achieve the target. Alright, so let's move on to this next problem here. And like I said, this one is little complex and I was not able to work it out in my head. So this is the scenario. I have been sitting in these exams, and so far I have done 5 exams. But what I need to do is to pass my qualification is basically achieve an average of 90 for all of these exams, including this sixth exam. Okay, so like I said before, you have to start off with the formula or function, and in this case I do need to find out what my average result are, including the empty cell here. So I'll type in my average function, I'll select all of these cells including the exam 6 and press enter, and with the function still selected, I'll come to the data, what if analysis, goal seek, and remember this first cell needs to reference the cell in which the formula is put in. And that's exactly what it is doing. And here I'm saying that I need this to be 90. And now this is asking in which cell you want the answer. So we will select this blank cell here. We'll press enter. And you can see it took about 3 seconds there for Excel to work out the problem. I can now click OK. And as you can see that I have to achieve 101 in order to achieve the target of 90. So I would say that is pretty useful stuff. And as you can see, it's pretty hard to work this out.